Hey guys, it's Casey. I'm making a video today, a little out of what I normally make a video on, but I do feel like I need to speak on what has been currently happening. I do need to speak on the fact that even in the year 2020, we are still having people brutally murdered because of the color of their skin. That the fact in the year 2020 that people are still standing by watching injustice happen, and then people standing by and watching this injustice happen actually end up costing a man's life. That man was somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's cousin, could have been somebody's husband, could have been somebody's dad, and the fact that an officer decided to take that man's life, even though that man begged and pleaded that he couldn't breathe, and then they had other officers standing by and they didn't do nothing. It's got to change, guys. We do not have a right to choose life and death and brutally murder somebody because of the color of their skin. It just amazes me. I'm really speechless on it, which usually isn't a big thing for me. So I just want everybody out there to know that, I do stand with you, for what you're going through. I do hear your cries. I mourn with you on the fact that, you have to worry about whether you can even go down the street and go to the grocery store. If, going to get a gallon of milk and, a box of cereal for your kids might cost you your life. And most of the people already do know I actually am in an interracial marriage, and I do have a mixed child, and it terrifies me knowing that there could come a day when one of them are going to actually be robbed from this world just because of the color of their skin. Actually, in fact, say hi, Zelda. Zelda, you gonna say hi? You gonna say hi? So, the fact that she's not even 2 and I'm already having to wonder, is there going to come a time? You can say hi. So if there's going to come a time that, she's going to have her life taken from her, she's going to have her life robbed because of the color of her skin, and my husband, in fact, is he going to go out to work to support his family and stuff, and then he's going to end up having his life taken because of the color of his skin? And I've actually known my husband almost 16 years. My husband is a veteran. And one of the things I've been thinking about a lot lately is, when he was deployed, in Iraq and Afghanistan stuff, I always had to worry and, was scared, what danger is he going to go into, Is he going to end up having something happen that's going to cost him his life? And I feel like now, that danger really isn't overseas. That danger is here in America. That just because of the color of your skin, that someone is going to just brutally murder you and people are just going to stand by and let it happen. Guys, it needs to change. We need to stand up and we need to be the voice, for the people that have stood up and their voice still isn't heard. We need to come together as one and we need to stand together and we need to make changes. Can you only imagine what it would feel like, if you had to bear, your wife, your husband, your son, your daughter, your brother, your sisters, your aunt, uncle, cousin, nieces, nephews. I mean, just imagine how you would feel if you would see a video or you would get, somebody knocking on your door telling you, oh, hey, yeah, by the way, your loved one's passed and they were murdered because of the color of their skin. And this is his input.
To me, it's not always so much when law enforcement officers kill African Americans in general. I look upon it as all lives matter. And law enforcement matters, my life matters, my daughter's life matters, my wife's life matters, everybody's life matters. And I understand people's frustration right now with the recent incidents that's been going on as far as the African American community goes. There's also been other people who's been killed by law enforcement officers or just by other people in general in this past week, and nobody has said anything about it. But I bring it up to the simple fact that we all have an opinion, and we all are voicing our opinions, but we all should also understand what is the right thing to do, and we need more people to actually do what is right, and not just necessarily stand by. But I can get and understand why people would stand by, because a lot of people are afraid of those consequences of being arrested. And I can tell you firsthand, not all cops are bad, but also not all cops are good. Just like not all us black people are bad, and not all of us are good. I'm pretty sure the same thing can be said about any other race or ethnicity or whatever you want to portray yourself as. There's good and bad everywhere, and I get discriminated a lot, probably on the daily basis by a lot of people who don't like me, or just by people who don't even know me. But I tried to do the right thing. Like I did at least 4 good things today, but you're not going to hear about it on the news. I do also want to say that if there is a situation that you come in and you can address the situation or help a person without getting arrested or basically getting shot, do it. But I can say there is power in numbers, and in today's society, a lot of people do record stuff. I'm not saying put your life at risk or anything, because of course it's not worth it, especially if it's basically for something that somebody clearly did. But in this incident with George Floyd, not the case. But if there is something you can help somebody with, and law enforcement officers, then help that person or persons, people. We need more people to do the right thing. What we also need, basically, is more people understanding
Life of an almost 2-year-old.
We need more people understanding how the system works, and also understanding the facts. And we need less people fighting. And I went on this short rant yesterday, and basically a calling on Facebook about people who were going to start riots in several cities, and these people I know in person. And I was like, dude, no, because we don't need that. One, it's going to make us look bad, and 2, you're going to have to pay within taxes, and 3, you're just going to get arrested at the end of the day. And probably there's a bunch of other things I have said in that. But a lot of people who I know, ironically, are African American, and they don't like cops, but I also know African Americans who are cops. And a lot of them aren't happy with what is going on, because honestly, they're getting the short end of the stick both ways because of black and their law enforcement. So really, it's not fair to them. It doesn't, again, make it seem like they're bad people. But because a couple of incidents happened, meaningful incidences, they're automatically judged. And one of my friends had a rock thrown at his window that almost hit his 2-year-old. So that's something that I have to worry about, and my wife has to worry about with my daughter. So I thought about a lot of this stuff because I've been going through a couple of weeks, and I just can't seem to get a break. But I do know that when it comes to my family, I will protect my family to my very last breath if I have to. So I do know that if it was my son, my daughters, cousins, aunt, uncle, I know there wasn't right, and that situation was up, then yeah, I'm going to fuck the officer up, hands down. That's just me. But, a lot of people may think otherwise and call that rash or whatever, but I know that at the end of the day, I go to jail, but at least that person's life is saved. So you can think about it on that note. But as far as going back to the writing, it's not worth it. definitely not. So it makes, well, I'm not even going to say just for the African Americans, it makes anybody who is caught rioting, no matter what race you are, it makes you look like an idiot, and it's bad. And looting as well. I mean, that could be actually be on par with rioting, but looting as well. So, something else I had brought up on that topic was, if you're burning out stores, and let's just subtract the core of it for like a couple of minutes. These stores, everyday people work there, and you're taken away from a family by you being pissed off and burning down a store. That may be the only person's form of income, and now that person can't go to work, or people can't go to work because you guys decide to throw a damn tantrum and burn down the fucking store. So I had to deal with the stuff in Ferguson, and if y'all don't remember the stuff in Ferguson, like half the damn shit was destroyed. So I called it. I told my wife, I was like, they are going to loot. I already see it coming. And lo and behold, I was right. I was hoping I was wrong, but it is what it is. So I guess I would want to say is that you should all just do the right thing and just be mindful of what is going on, because we do need more people to actually stand up. But again, this isn't just for African Americans, really for anybody who's innocent. So, and again, not all law enforcement officers are bad, but the ones who are bad, they need to be called out on their nonsense, and the good ones need to tighten that shot. So that's all I got, really.
So, and one of the things I do want to say is the racism is very, very real. I actually remember when we went to St. Louis to go visit my husband's family, we went down to go see the Arch, and the kids had to use the bathroom. And so I was probably about 2 months pregnant at the time. And so we were walking downtown by the Arch, and as we were walking, we seen that there was a church that was open because it was on a Sunday. And so I walked up, I said, hey, I said, can my kids use the restroom, please? They're like, oh yeah, go ahead, use the restroom. Well, my husband was a little ways behind me walking, and so we walked in, and they pointed out, okay, here's where the restroom is, so we go use the restroom. Well, as I'm walking back through this church, I don't see my husband. I'm thinking, okay, there might have been too many people, so he might have just went outside and stuff. And so as I walk outside and I see the look on my husband's face, I'm like, what's going on? He said he had actually tried to walk into this church, and the people looked at him and said, we don't want your kind of people here. Your kind's not welcome here. Now explain to me how the hell you can call yourself a Christian and turn someone away because of the color of their skin. That's not being a Christian. That's being a hypocrite. I've always been a firm believer in the don't judge people unless you want to be judged. And it just amazes me. We've had to deal with people making comments towards my husband because of the color of his skin. We actually had an incident where he was walking with our now 7-year-old. And as he was walking, the guy walked up to me and he was like, oh, hey, is that your daughter? And I was like, yeah, why? He goes, I was getting ready to call the cops. And I was like, why are you calling the cops? He goes, I seen him walking with that girl, which my 4 oldest kids are white. And I was like, yeah, okay. He was walking with her, and I was walking with the rest of the kids. And he goes, ma'am, I'm so sorry. And I said, you don't owe me the apology. I said, you need to walk right over there. I said, you need to apologize to that man. And so this guy did. He walked over and he apologized to the man. And it bothered my husband. I could tell, the fact that he couldn't even walk holding the hand of the 7-year-old. Well, she's 7 now. Couldn't even walk holding her hand to make sure she didn't get hit by a car or somebody didn't, decide to snatch her up and stuff. And somebody was going to call the cops on her. Another incident that we actually had happen to us is we were out walking. And as I was walking, I was probably about 7 or 8 months pregnant at this time, so I was waddling, and I was walking. So Well, my husband was a little ways up, with the kids and stuff. And so I'm waddling my way to catch up to him and stuff. And so he had stopped, waiting for me to catch up with him. And I had two white males walk past me. And they made the comment to me, well, geez, she must like her meat dark. And I thought to myself, like, does that make you feel any better? Like, who the hell are you to make a judgment on who I want to be with and who I like? That's my decision. If it's two consenting adults, then that's my decision. It's none of your damn business. And it just amazed me that they couldn't say anything to him when they see this black man walking with four white kids, but they had to wait till they walked past me to say something. That's a coward move. And for those of you that stand around and don't say anything, when you see something wrong happening, if you see somebody who is being, mistreated because of the color of their skin and you don't say anything to them, I'm sorry, that makes you a coward in my opinion. If it would have taken just one person to stand up to these officers and say something, like, hey, he can't breathe, even one of the other police officers that was standing there, he could have said, hey, he can't breathe, and this man wouldn't have had to pay the ultimate cost, which was his life. So I'm telling you now, it's time to change, guys. We need to stand up, we need to unite, because if not, we're going to end up falling. And we're going to end up having to, it's going to be like a domino effect. We're going to have somebody that's going to get brutally murdered because of the color of their skin. And then it's going to fall down into, more chaos, and then it's going to breed more chaos, and it's going to lead to total destruction, So please, guys, stand up, be an ally for these people, use your voice, say what you need to say, stand up for them, because I'm telling you, nobody's going to be able to stop if we all stand together, united, to stand against all these wrongs that are happening. Stay strong, keep fighting.